Hello students, today we will discuss about erection of polyhouse. Erection of polyhouse means structural designs. It includes planning, layout, greenhouse components and orientation of polyhouse. So first we have to move on our first slides. The first we have discussed about structural design of polyhouse. There are many types of greenhouse structures are successfully employed in a protected agriculture, and each type has its own advantage and is well suited for particular case, that is particular region and particular climatic conditions. While erection of greenhouse, some points should be considered. That is, a greenhouse should be designed to withstand the load of covering materials, other structural components, wind velocity, intensity of rain, hanging weights. Such type of loads generally includes in a polyhouse. For adequate quantity of sunlight is required for crop production, so that the structure should be required minimum energy to maintain the desired crop microclimatic conditions. For erection of polyhouse, the local conditions and local available material must be taken into consideration. Therefore, the structure should be location specific and crop specific. According to structural components, the structure has to carry the following loads and is to be designed accordingly. There are different types of loads, that is dead load, live load, wind load and last one is snow load. The first we will discuss about dead load. Dead load includes weight of all permanent constructions, cladding material, weight of heating and cooling equipments, water pipes and all fixed service equipments to the frame. Such type of loads comes under dead loads. The second we have discussed about live load. Live load, that means weight of superimpose. Superimpose means place or lie. That means one thing is placed over another. It includes hanging baskets, shelves and person working on a rope. So that greenhouse has to be designed for a maximum of 15 kg per square meter of live load. That means each member of rope should be capable of supporting 45 kg of concentrated load when applied at its center. Then next is wind load. The structure should be able to withstand wind of 130 km per hour and at least 50 kg per square meter of wind pressure. And then last one is snow loads. These are to be taken as per the average of snowfall of the location and specific region, so that the greenhouse should be able to take dead load plus live load, or should be able to dead load plus wind load plus half of the live load. Before planning, layout and erection of polyhouse, some things should be taken into consideration. That is selection of site, orientation of polyhouse, component of polyhouse and cladding materials of polyhouse. So first we have discussed about selection of site. The selection of site, it includes some factors like topography of land, climate, road facilities, windbreaks, available water in a selected site, future expansion, electricity, and labor requirements. It should be essential for erection of ideal polyhouse. And these all factors we will discuss in detail one by one. The first we will discuss about topography of land. The topography of land, it determines the amount of work and expenses that will be required to provide good surface drainage and efficient transportation. Second, the area must be level before construction of polyhouse. Third, the land must have 10% slope, and good drainage is an important requirement for the selected site. When necessary, the greenhouse should be built up above the surrounding of ground so that rainwater and irrigation water will be drained efficiently. Then second factor is climate. The greenhouse site should be selected with specific crop in mind. That means constructions depends on the local climatic conditions and factors available in the area. Factor means some facilities available in the area. If we think about the climatic conditions, it includes intensity of sun radiation, humidity, rainfall, temperature, and wind velocity of the region. Then we are discuss about next factor, that is availability of ample water. If we think about, water is one of the most frequently overlooked resources in the establishment of greenhouse business. A sufficient quantity of high quality water is extremely important for the production of greenhouse crop. The need for frequent irrigations required careful planning and management. And to ensure operations have sufficient water to maintain adequate supply for crop productions. Although water is usually obtained from different resources, that is deep wells, bore wells, and generally municipal system can also supply for adequate quality of water for greenhouse productions. And those water is available in a selected locations. The pH of water should be between 5.5 to 7, and electrical conductivity of water should be 0.01 to 0.1. Then next factor is availability of labor. Present and future labor needs should be assessed and should be in accord with labor supply in the area. If we think about, for protected cultivations and for perennial management of polyhouses, generally two problems are happens. That is, first one is perennial supply of labor, and second is greenhouses wages have been low. So that to increase productivity of protected cultivations, there is need skill and cheap labor must be available in a selected regions, and if possible to provide higher wages. It help to reduce number of employees, but it help to increase productivity of each member. Then next factor is electricity. In naturally ventilated greenhouses may not any power supply, but in high-tech polyhouses, that means fully controlled type of polyhouse, some electrical appliances are required to control the climate inside the polyhouse, such as motor, exhaust fans, and lights. Besides from, there is required some other equipments. And these other equipments, we need assured electrical power for uninterrupted operations. Then next factor is transport facility. The transport facility must be available at low cost. Second, road must be available from greenhouse to market. And last, vehicle must be available for easy transportation. Then we have discussed about wind management. Outside of the greenhouses, windbreak should be planted or any live plantations should be done. A windbreak can reduce infiltration of cold air and convection of heat away from the greenhouses. Wind speed greatly affects infiltration rates. That is, 15 mile per hour winds can double heat loss in a greenhouses. So that well-designed windbreaks can reduce wind speeds by 50% and help to reducing heat losses by 5 to 10% as compared to open area. And they can also reduce snow accumulation on a roof of polyhouse. Then we have discussed about last factor, that is marketing. Greenhouses should be located near to the market facility. And market is a very important for retail growers who rely on customers getting to the greenhouses. The market potential should be explored before the erection of polyhouse. For competitions should be scouted out and if possible to conduct survey. It helps to increase the greenhouses market and demand of the local area for a marketing. Then we have discussed about next part of this topic is orientation of greenhouse. Orientation of greenhouse should be in any directions. The orientation of greenhouses is a compromise for wind directions, latitude of location, and type of temperature control inside the polyhouse. There are different types of greenhouse, that is single span type, then multiple span and natural ventilation type of polyhouse. Generally, in a freestanding greenhouses, that means single span type of greenhouse, more sunlight is available in a winter season. Therefore, orientation of this type of greenhouse should be in east-west directions. And such type of greenhouses should have its long axis perpendicular to the wind directions. In multi-span type of greenhouses, the gutter should be oriented north-south directions. And in naturally ventilation type of greenhouse, the ventilator should be open on the leeward side. Such type of orientations permit the movement of shadow of the gutter across the greenhouse. The location and orientation of greenhouses should avoid falling of shadow on adjacent greenhouses. And if you want to avoid the shadow effect from one greenhouse to another greenhouses, this should be oriented east to west directions. So that today we have stopped here. The remaining part of this topic we will discuss on next lecture.